Hey everyone, and welcome. Have you ever wondered what it actually costs to live a comfortable life in Malaysia? Maybe you're thinking about moving here, or maybe you're just curious. Well, today we're going to break down all the numbers, especially for a big city like Kuala Lumpur.
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? So let's just skip all the guesswork and dive straight into some real, hard numbers to see what your budget could actually look like.
All right, so what are those magic numbers we're all looking for? Let's find out.
So the general rule of thumb is that a single person needs somewhere between 3 to 5,000 ringgit a month. Now for a family of 4, that number jumps up to between 6.5 and 10,000. Of course, keep in mind, these are just ballpark figures, but they give us a really solid place to start our breakdown.
Okay, so where does all that money actually go? We're about to slice up the budget pie and take a good look at the 3 biggest expenses that usually gobble up most of your monthly income.
As you can probably guess, the lion's share of anyone's monthly budget is going to go to 3 main things: housing, food, and transportation. If you can get a handle on these 3, you're already winning the budget game. It's where your planning is going to make the biggest difference.
Let's tackle the biggest piece of the pie for pretty much everyone: putting a roof over your head. This is almost always the largest single expense you'll have to deal with each and every month.
You know, rent in KL can really vary. You might find a studio for somewhere between 1,500 to 2,500 ringgit, but a 2-bedroom apartment could push you closer to 4,500. The key thing to remember here is that if you move out into the suburbs, or even to other cities like Johor Bahru, these prices can drop a lot.
All right, let's talk about food. We all know Malaysia is a paradise for foodies, right? But there's a surprising little detail about our spending habits that you probably wouldn't expect.
Would you believe it? Malaysians actually have the highest per-person grocery bill in all of Southeast Asia. Yep, we spend more on food to cook at home than our neighbors in Singapore do. It sounds a little strange, but it's really driven by a few things, like our reliance on food imports and a weaker ringgit, which just pushes those grocery prices up.
When it comes to getting around town, you have a really clear choice. A monthly pass for public transport that covers the LRT, MRT, and buses is incredibly cheap, often less than 150 ringgit. Now compare that to owning a car. The monthly payment alone could be over 800 ringgit, and that's before you even think about fuel, insurance, tolls, and maintenance. You know, if this breakdown is giving you a clearer picture, go ahead and hit like and subscribe. That way, you'll always stay one step ahead on Malaysia's biggest issues.
But hey, the budget doesn't stop with just the daily stuff. Beyond rent and food, there are 2 huge costs that are really easy to forget but can have a massive impact on your finances: healthcare and education.
So, Malaysia has this fantastic 2-tier healthcare system. The public system, it offers amazing care at a super low cost. The downside, the wait times can be really long. And that's exactly why a lot of people, especially expats, choose to go to private hospitals. You get faster service, more comfort, but it definitely comes with a much higher price tag.
And the difference in cost is just staggering. A visit to a specialist that might cost you 50 ringgit in a public hospital can easily jump to 600 in a private one. And for a minor surgery, the price can leap from under 2,000 ringgit to over 15,000. So clearly, the choice you make here is going to have a huge impact on your budget.
Now, for families, education is another massive expense. International school fees in Malaysia have this incredible range. You can find some budget-friendly schools starting around 20,000 ringgit a year, but the premium schools can easily cost you over 100,000 ringgit annually. It's a major, major investment.
Okay, enough with the big, scary numbers. How do people who actually live in KL manage their money and save? We went digging through online forums to find some real, practical tips from the people who do it every single day.
This one golden rule of personal finance came up over and over again: pay yourself first. The whole idea is you don't save what's left after you're done spending. Instead, you spend what's left after you're done saving. It's such a simple shift in your mindset, but locals swear it makes all the difference.
And this tip links right back to what we learned about food. Locals are super clear on this. Constantly eating out and ordering food delivery will absolutely kill your budget. The fastest way to save some cash is to get into home cooking, which, I know, can be a real challenge with Malaysia's amazing food scene.
So, to sum it all up, here are the top strategies straight from KL locals. Besides the big 3 we've already covered, save first, cook more, use public transport, they also mentioned avoiding lifestyle creep. That's when your spending just keeps going up with every pay raise. And my personal favorite,
Find an honest car mechanic so you don't get ripped off. Brilliant.
All right, we've covered the main costs, we've looked at the hidden expenses, and we've got some great saving tips from the locals. So let's put it all together in a sample budget and see what a comfortable life in KL could really look like month by month.
So here's a sample budget for a single person. If we say $2,000 for rent on a one-bedroom apartment, and then we factor in all the other costs, you're looking at around 4,250 ringgit a month. Now this covers a pretty comfortable lifestyle. Not extravagant, but comfortable, with enough left over for some fun and some savings. Of course, you can always tweak these numbers to fit your own choices.
Thanks for watching. You know, you can join thousands of other Malaysians who want clarity, not confusion. Just tap like, hit subscribe, and let's keep making sense of all this together.
So we'll leave you with this to think about. Malaysia definitely offers an affordable, high-quality lifestyle. But when you consider everything from the traffic to the healthcare queues, is that affordability worth the trade-offs? Well, that's something for you to decide. Thanks for joining us.